From wounds come wisdom. From your worst tragedies is born your greatest wisdom. Some wounds will never heal, and those are the ones that the eyes can't see. Those are the ones that you carry deep inside. But perhaps they weren't meant to be healed in this lifetime. Perhaps they were meant to be healed over the span and the course of several lifetimes. Perhaps not even on this earth. Perhaps on other earths, other schools. Because earth is a school after all, if you haven't figured it out. And that's why the small few that control the infrastructure, they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. The earth is a school. Each day is another class. Each experience is a lesson, and life is the teacher. And just seeing it that way, you'll understand that it's all for your betterment. There's so many things in this world that I can't even wrap my head around why they happen. Atrocities to children, heinous crimes, abominations, crimes against humanity. I can't wrap my head around it. Perhaps we're not even supposed to contemplate it because it's way out of our wheelhouse. Not even close to any form of mortal comprehension that you possess, why these things happen, because I don't know. I know if I was running everything, I wouldn't allow it, but I'm not. But whatever you have going on in your own personal life, try, and this is a personal journey, of course, and the only way that you're going to do it is however you can configure it to work for you, because it's not a one-size-fits-all, but try to honestly see things as a benefit, no matter what this world will show you. And I know in some instances that's a little harder than it seems, but just by saying the words, easier said than done, you automatically make everything harder, even though you don't realize it. Again, I always refer to the fact of your unlimited energy and how you can use it to help yourself or destroy yourself. When you say, oh yeah, easier said than done. So what you're actually doing unconsciously is you're taking that disbelief in whatever it is somebody's trying to convince you of that is easily done. Oh, easier said than done. You've already dismissed them. But you've even more so, you're taking your energy and you're projecting it out into the cosmos. That formulates into experiences that inevitably at some point you have to face. This is why you're immersed in a system of negativity and fear. This is why they saturate you in these experiences, these fully immersive experiences of unconsciousness, always being afraid, because when you are saturated like a sponge with a specific type of frequency, you become that frequency, and then you begin to project it and transmit it. And that's what you receive in return, more of the same. And now they're not providing you with enlightening love and peace and awareness and high vibrational positivity. That ain't the name of their game. Just go out in the streets and look what's going on. It's clearly evident how they roll and how it's been for so long. Now they feel comfortable because everything that you see here out there is all done by design. This was orchestrated long before all of us were born. Long time ago. They have these demonic covens where they meet in the woods or underground or wherever they meet out of the eyes of society. And they plan these things. They plan the fate of the world. This is going to happen here and that's going to happen here. And God knows what else they're doing there. But the truth is that you're immersed in a system of negativity and fear because they know once you soak that up, that's what you're going to project and that's what you're going to receive. That's why when you're young, they induce these things in you. Because when you're little, you don't know what this is. You ask your parents, what is this? What is that? Oh, that's a tree. That's a house. That's a person. That's a this. And then, oh, okay. And that's what becomes your truth. And there's nobody running up to you saying, hey, your parents are lying. What they said is not true. So therefore, if there is no contrasting point of view or conflicting argument to debate that point or that information or refute it. You will hold it as the truth, and it will become your identity. So if you accumulate enough experiences like that, it's like a building. One brick seems insignificant when you hold it in your hand. But when you have 2 bricks, and then 3, and then 5, and then 10, and then 100, and then 1,000, and then 10,000, and then millions of bricks, not only are you crushed by the weight of these things, but you have a gigantic structure in front of you, like a monolith or an edifice. And now it's looming, and it's right there. It's a force to be reckoned with. You can't just dismiss it. And that, my friend, is your compounded, accumulated knowledge that you get from these experiences by asking people these things. But unfortunately, the information that you've been receiving is a lie. It's all a narrative, carefully scripted and designed to do exactly what it's doing to you. Induce fear and deduce your high vibrational positivity by siphoning it off in small, imperceivable increments. That's why people are so easy to snap and be negative. That's their default setting. Instead of saying, I'm just going to be in a calm, relaxed state, and I'm not going to give this my energy because it's not worth it. People just get fired up nowadays. That's why you're so afraid of everything. It's because of the conditioning that you've been exposed to your entire life in a system that is designed to just keep you immersed in the shadows forever. That's why they don't want you to break the 3rd dimensional barrier into the 4th dimension of consciousness, your state of being, your natural state of being. That's your higher self. That's the reason why you're in this earth school. And if you don't break the 3rd dimensional barrier, you have to come back again and again until you do. Because this isn't the only school. There are many, many earths, many planets, and other things that are ineffable. They just simply defy a verbal explanation. So whatever you are experiencing on an unconscious or subconscious level, this is what has been induced in you, and you are unconsciously projecting these energies, and that's what you are consciously receiving as experiences. This is how they keep you trapped in that low vibrational dimensional mentality. And that's how they prevent you from breaking that 3rd dimensional barrier, because they don't want you to. You have to understand what you're talking about here. You're talking about a species that's incapable of breaking that barrier. They can't. They can never cross into the 4th dimension. They have DNA. Human beings don't possess DNA. They possess chromosomes. And what they're trying to do is hybridize these species by crossing over the reptilians with the humans in the hopes that they will be able to bridge the gap and allow them to cross into the higher vibrational dimensions, which is an exercise in futility because they never will. But if you're wondering why we have global warming, I could tell you very simply. What do all reptilians have in common? They're cold-blooded. And it doesn't serve the purposes for a reptile to live in a cold environment, does it? Because they can't function properly. So by melting the polar caps, raising the temperature of the planet, turning it into a tropical planet where there is no winter anymore, serves the purposes of reptilians, does it not? As crazy as it sounds. When I was a kid, in January, we had 5 feet of snow and 20 degrees. No matter what. In the winter, it was cold and it snowed. You never saw birds in the winter because they would always fly south. They would always migrate south. That was a given. And you never saw insects in the winter. And we'd never see a fly or a mosquito. Not in November, December, January, February. Not ever. Not even in October. Not even in late September. You'd only see them in the beginning of spring all the way through to the end of summer. And then they were gone. Now, I'm seeing flies and mosquitoes November, December, January, February, because it's 60, 70 degrees now. That's why the temperatures are rising. But alas, I digress. It's all about you taking control of your energy, just being aware of what's going on and what this really is and what it means to you to be here. because you're here for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons you're not here is to exist in fear. But that's what they want you to, because that's how they control you. So just explore inside yourself what it is that you're failing to face or refusing to face that's triggering these things. Because you have to face these things. You have to realize that you're actually carrying them so they can be addressed, so they can be healed, released, and you can make space for something that's positive and productive in your life instead of detrimental and negative that's adversely affecting you. It doesn't make sense to carry things inside you that are killing you. What happens a lot of times is people unconsciously, they refuse to let go of the past. And how you do this is that you tether your feelings and emotions to these experiences that no longer exist. So what happens is you are now animating and giving life force to something that should have been dead and buried a long time ago. That's the first thing you're doing. The second thing you're doing is you now are taking these dead things and allowing them to occupy a space that should only be reserved for the new incoming high vibrational experiences. So now you're blocking because you're animating and energizing and giving life to things that you should have let go of a long time ago. And now you are lowering your energy, becoming a vibrational equivalent to their system, and you are unconsciously projecting these energies out and consciously receiving them because you're experiencing it, you're observing it, they're presenting themselves to you. So you see how cyclical it is? It's a cyclical, negative, looping insanity. As I've said before in another video, to continue the same behavior and yet expect a completely different outcome is just lunacy. You can't keep pressing a cookie cutter in the shape of a Christmas tree into the dough and expecting to get a completely different shape. It's just not going to happen. Every time you press, you're going to get the same shape. You're following a pattern. Patterns are habits, habits are routines. Routines are cyclical. They're looping. It's just that simple. So you have a pattern of falling back into a default negative mechanism that you panic, you start to image and project negativity, sending and receiving it, reinforcing it, tethering your feelings and emotions to the past. This is an addiction that you have been induced with that causes you to be highly addicted to negativity in all of its forms. You just have to recognize this. This way, you don't play a delusional denial game with yourself. And you're playing pretend games like, not me, I'm not capable of that. That's not happening to me. That always happens to somebody else. No, it can happen to anybody. And I'm no different. Everything I talk about in these videos, I've lived through, man. What my channel is about, if you haven't figured it out, my channel is about not only my personal experiences, my personal journey, my personal truth, my own connection to the universe, which is there's only one, but even more so, the universe channeling through me to you. I don't make this channel about me. I never have, I never will. I'm not asking for any kind of, accolades or awards or trophies. Nothing like that. Not interested. I'm not making it about me. It's about you and what you can do with the information I'm providing that's being passed through me to you as a messenger and as a conduit. But you have to realize you have such an amazing power. And I say this again and again and again because it's true. People don't realize the power that they carry because they have not been motivated or made aware of the fact of who and what they really are. That's really the crux of this whole channel. To get you to awaken yourself to the realization of your own unlimited power. You are divine, cosmic, celestial, ethereal. You are not physical, tangible, material, terrestrial. That's what they want you to think. That's why when you're a kid, they filled your head with all those lies that you hold as facts. Undeniable proof, evidence, this is the truth. No, it's not. It's all a lie. The whole book is a lie. The whole system is a lie. There are no governments. There are only corporations, man. And they're all in the same clique. If you haven't figured it out. Most important thing is just seeing yourself an unlimited power. That you possess a potential to manifest anything you want It isn't just physical objects. You can manipulate energy. That's what this is all about. Becoming a maven of pure energy manipulation. And in doing so, you can master the art of creation or destruction, depending on which type of energy you are using in the moment. You can use it as a creative power, or a destructive force. It depends on which way you want to go with it, because as I've said in another video, your energy is neutral until you connect with it. Then it becomes an extension of your energy, and then it assumes your form of energy, whatever that is. And then you can do whatever you want with it. So if you're a destructive, negative person, when you use the energy of the cosmos, that energy, once neutral, now becomes destructive and negative because it is an extension of you. And it is an unlimited force. So you can literally destroy your own life. And look how many people do that. How they waste the most precious gift that has been given to them by the universe, worrying, stressing out, panicking, existing in fear, always being afraid to being themselves, expressing themselves, living their dreams, being honest with themselves, being affectionate in public, being afraid to be themselves in public, in front of others, out of fear of being ostracized or ridiculed by strangers, self-conscious inhibitions, inferiority complexes. It just goes on and on. How these things are paralyzing and crippling. That's why religion is so popular, because these people are emotionally crippled, and religion is an emotional crutch. But they don't realize, not only do you have the power to walk and run, but you have the power to fly. But religion is the world's oldest form of propaganda, because at that time, in the inception of religion almost 5,000 years ago, the technological achievements that they have now didn't exist back then. How they used the propaganda tools to manipulate people back then was through the written and spoken word. Now it's technology doing it. And the difference between then and now is the speed at which this propaganda can be disseminated to a larger population in a shorter amount of time. That's why everybody seems to be on the same page, but unfortunately that page is a self-destructive page from a book of nightmares. TikTok is run by the CCP, Chinese Communist Party. Go do your history on them. They're responsible for hundreds of millions of lives taken. Trust me. They have internment camps and all kinds of stuff over there. And that's what they intend on doing with the world. But they won't be given that chance because of God. And they keep forgetting about God, because you are God. We are all God, source, not just human beings. Always remember that. Always remember those words. It isn't just about human beings, because again, as I have said in previous videos, just run the numbers and do the math. If the earth is billions and billions and billions of years and human beings are only, 3.5 million years on this planet, you obviously have to get it that this place wasn't made for you and I, because all of the other creatures were here before you. So obviously it isn't the home of earth for human beings only. Man was not granted dominion over the planet. That's nonsense. That's just a bunch of religious babble. Fictitious biblical garbage. That's all it is. Everything is for a reason. A lot of it is, I can't comprehend it. But whatever this is, make the best of it. Whatever it means to you. I can't tell you what to do and what not to do, and I never will do that in any of my videos. I keep it as real as I can because I'm not a BS artist. I'm old school, and I love the fact that I grew up in the 70s as a kid, because for me, that was the best era. What I see now here makes me cry. It does. It really makes me cry how they're dehumanizing people, and they're essentially turning them into robots and programmed drones. No compassion, no emotion, no sensitivity, no kindness, no consideration, no heart. I see it's devoid. I'm an empath. I'm a spiritual healer, light worker, starseed, And I also assess people. I assess their energy. And what I get nowadays is very mechanical, very robotic, very synthetic. I don't get any type of human energy anymore. It's for a lot of reasons I'm not going to get into. But it has a lot to do with the food you're eating, what's in the food, and what's being, let's just say, placed in the body by devices of a medical nature that are very pointy on one tip. Okay, I'm going to just leave it there. But just get what you can get out of this information that I'm providing to you. And I hope it really helps you. That's the premise of my channel. That's why I'm up at 12:30 at night, sitting in the room here. I'm at the edge of my bed, Hopefully that I can reach out to somebody and say something, even if it's not the whole video, just a piece of it. If it can help somebody for a second, then it was all well worth it for me. Don't give up. Don't give in. If you fall, that's beautiful, because we all fall. Nobody walks through life unscathed. I don't care who they are. Everybody falls in life. That's not a crime. But it is a tragedy that if and when you fall, because you will fall, it is a tragedy that you refuse to get back up and rise. So rise, because you can and because you're able. No matter what this world throws at you, know that it's just a game of illusions. And it isn't worth your internal struggle for you to make it into something that it isn't and it never was. Your life is as serious as you make it out to be, or as much as a joke and a game as you make it to be. Unfortunately, people make these things out to be very serious, and that's exactly what you will get in return. If you're very insouciant and very aloof, calm and relaxed, lively, vivacious, and bubbly, and you don't take things seriously, then everything will just present itself to you very quickly. The manifestation process is simplicity in its very essence. But if you're always, I've got to get it done by a deadline, this has got to be done now, my way, and all that, you're just blocking. You're blocking, and they got you exactly where they want you. So let me end this video by saying that just relax. Don't take it serious. This is just a temporary journey. That's why life is fleeting at best, because you're not supposed to be here forever. You're here to learn things, to grow, to expand, or not to grow and to contract and to wither away and die inside yourself. It depends on how you choose to use your own energy. But I know for the time that I have left here, I'm going to consciously choose to use my energy for the greater good of my own benefit and that of others. Because my greatest gratification comes from helping those less fortunate than myself. That's the reason why God put me on this planet. That is the truest nature of my heart and soul. Straight truth. But I can only speak from my own personal journey. I don't know what yours is. But I know that God had a reason to create you, so that's why you're here. It's all beautiful. So you have a blessed day or evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. Again, as before, I will always say, you are always loved and you are never alone. Your darkness is behind you and your road ahead is divine. You just have to convince yourself of that, because God wants you to be happy. You just have to want to be happy for yourself. Smile because you can, and love because you're able.